Wagwan, everybody. Lennox here from Simple123 Trader. This is the weekly outlook for the currencies, the futures, stocks, indices for the week of February 6th to the 11th. Hope everybody's doing well and are safe. I'm going to take a look at the US dollar futures index first. This will give us an idea of what's setting up for the majors for the upcoming week. I'm on the monthly time frame. And as you can see, overall, we're in a strong move to the upside right now. We're just kind of in a lull stage, which we've been through before. We've been through it in here, we've been through it in here, and now we're coming through here. So I expect a further move to the upside, but of course, this is a monthly time frame, so this could take a while. Drop down to the weekly time frame, and you see that we have been down in the last week or so, but should be looking for a move back to the upside this week. So going to the daily, we'll look at the daily, and that will give us a good idea of what's setting up for the week. So after a nice move up, now we've had quite a move down last week, and again, I'm expecting a further move back up this coming week. So strong US dollar over the coming week, or at least a retrace of this current move anyways back up into this area, will give us a possible, this could possibly continue back down, short term and so forth, but for the rest of the week, a move to the upside is what I'm seeing. So that would give us for the euro, for example, on looking on the weekly, we should be expecting a further move to the downside. Okay, so the opposite of what the US dollar is doing. So we got this bounce. So I would expect another move back to the downside for the euro in the opposite direction of the US dollar. That will also be similar for GBP US dollar. So if I find GBP here, which is, okay, where is GBP? Here we are. There's the British pound. So I would expect further weakness in the British pound over the coming week. And if we drop down to the daily, you'll see that a little better. So again, a retrace of this previous move from last week. We'll get a retrace to the downside upcoming for GBP. All right, so taking a look at let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. All right, so on the weekly time frame, and I just want to reiterate, for the US dollar, if you have US dollar strength, we'll get weakness in the euro, the Aussie, New Zealand, GBP. We'll also have strength in the CAD and the Japanese yen. So let me take a look at Japanese yen before I go to Bitcoin, just to show you that we should be expecting this similar move in Japanese yen, which short term is looking weak. Let me go up to the monthly here and get a better look. Okay, so we've been quite weak all the way along, and we're down very close to support, but it's been weak, and so I would continue to see or expect more weakness here as we go into the week. On the daily, similar to the euro, we should see a continued weakness here, just because usually the Japanese yen is going in the same direction as the US dollar, but in this case, if we get a bounce on the US dollar, this looks like it wants to continue down. So that's just the way it is in this case. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. And on the weekly, we came a long way down back into this support area here, and now we're bouncing to the upside. So this is a legitimate move back up. Well, of course, things don't just go straight up or straight down. So right now it's looking like this move could see we're currently at a very strong support resistance area, so we could see a bit of a flutter in here before we continue to the upside, back up very close, pushing up into the $50,000 area over the coming few days here. Okay, so strength in Bitcoin short term, at least, back to the upside. All right, now let's take a look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. Gold on the weekly. Gold is still stuck in this sideways trench that it's been in for a long time now, and looking to find its way out. Which way is it going to go? Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? This is a tough one here. Let me go to the monthly and take a bigger look at it. So we've been essentially just climbing and climbing up to this level. Now we're inside this triangle, and this can be an acute triangle, and we are coming to the end of the move. So overall, it looks like we should push to the upside. That would be my expectation, but we could also push to the downside in the short term before we push back to the upside. So which one is it going to be? It's tough to say at this point, but because we're going sideways, that's what makes it very difficult. So over the coming week, it looks like a little bit more weakness in gold short term. So I would expect a drop for this week coming up. Okay, so that would hold true for silver, of course. So let's take a look at silver on the weekly. Silver pushing to the downside. We're sitting at very strong support, but it looks like we're going to break to the downside in the short term as well. That's the weekly. So on the daily, yeah, that's what it is looking like at this point, that we should chop out of here to the downside more than likely. Okay. All right, let's take a look also at the U.S. Technology Group. Let's take a look at the U.S. Technology Group. This has taken quite a beating in the last few weeks, as you can see, and now looking to push back to the upside. And at this point, we could see further moves to the upside this week. It's possible. It's in a very interesting spot right now. We've got this move back up, and we could see that push up in the short term at least, and maybe back up into this area before we get a continued move to the downside. So short term, maybe a little bit of strength in the indices, or in the U.S. tech, anyways, this week. Let's see what the S&P looks like. S&P also, after a deep decline. This is only on the daily. So after a deep decline, looking to push back to the upside as well. So we could get a short-term move back up into this area. And then after that, all bets are off. We're going to probably be coming back down in a hurry. So short term, like I say, a bit. Let me just take a closer look. I'm just going to drop to the 4-hour. And what I'm seeing overall in the 4-hour, this move could take us indeed, maybe a little bit of short-term blip, but longer term over the week, we could push back up in this area. Okay, so we're still a little bit in choppiness, but like I say, we could push out of that by the end of the week. All right, and the Dow would be the same. The Dow would be similar. You can see it's almost identical chart, and so would the Russell 2000 be similar. Well, it's not quite as the same. Russell 2000, you can see, is totally different. We do have a little bit of a similarity, but not. I would expect again another move to the upside here, back up to this area before we continue down, and we can see that down from the. Let's go back up to the daily. So we're totally in a downward mode. We could see this push back up, and then after that we could get further weakness occurring. But for this week, a little bit of strength, maybe after a little rocky start tomorrow. All right. There's Litecoin. Let me just see what else. We've looked at gold. I'll take a quick look. We looked at Bitcoin. Let's take a quick look at oil. I haven't looked at that one in a while. On the monthly, very strong, still going strong, and pushing to the upside. So I'm not seeing any, at this point, any weakness in oil. We've gone a long way, so that could start to show itself in some weakness at this point. But right now, lots of strength going into this week again. All right, so that's a look at what's setting up for this week. Profitable trading to everyone. Be safe. We're done now. Thank you.